Thank you for taking this time for yourself, for choosing to invest in your growth and your future. The fact that you're here, reading, listening, and reflecting shows a willingness to take meaningful action, and that alone is a powerful first step. You may have felt it before, the spark of motivation after a seminar, a book, or a training that ignites hope and excitement. For a fleeting moment, everything seems possible. You act, maybe for a day, a week, and then life gently, or not so gently, pulls you back into old routines. That cycle can be exhausting, leaving frustration, doubt, and the nagging question of whether lasting growth is even possible. The truth is, motivation alone was never enough. Inspiration fades, but deliberate habits, clear systems, and the support of others endure. People who grow consistently aren't superhuman. They are methodical, turning insight into action, action into habit, and habit into progress. By transforming ideas into specific, actionable steps, measuring your growth, and involving others in your journey, you create change that doesn't just inspire, it lasts. Beyond the surface of skills and knowledge lies the deeper challenge, your relationship with improvement itself. Many resist growth because it feels like a threat to their identity, but real improvement is not an attack, it's an investment in who you are becoming. Avoiding growth slowly erodes momentum and fulfillment, keeping potential locked away. The most resilient individuals blend humility with confidence. They recognize there is always room to grow, and they trust in the process of learning how to improve. They focus on steady progress over perfection, aiming to get a little better each day, rather than chasing impossible standards. By choosing openness to growth, trading perfection for incremental progress, and committing to small, consistent improvements, you embed change into the rhythm of your life, making growth inevitable. Big goals can feel exciting, yet progress often stalls because motivation cannot sustain itself without wins along the way. Large visions provide direction, but real momentum comes from small, measurable victories that can be repeated daily. Without them, the dream remains distant, energy wanes, and frustration grows. Breaking ambitious goals into single, focused areas of improvement, then translating those into tangible actions, turns abstract visions into lived reality. Each completed step fuels the next, stacking wins until the long-term goal is no longer a dream, but a series of small achievements you experience and celebrate. Yet even when inspiration strikes, it is action that cements change. Learning alone does not create progress. Without clear, specific behaviors, knowledge remains dormant. Lasting change emerges when you narrow your focus to one behavior, decide on the first two actions to take, and follow through repeatedly. Forward motion, not perfection, reinforces learning, transforms insight into habit, and makes improvement tangible. The key is moving from thinking about change to practicing it, no matter how small the steps may feel. Even with focus and repeated action, the journey can falter without accountability. Self-discipline is powerful, but external support accelerates progress and prevents drift. When you commit to sharing your progress with someone you trust, who can offer honest feedback and guidance, your growth is anchored. Accountability transforms good intentions into observable results, ensuring that lessons learned translate into consistent action. Repetition is the quiet engine behind every lasting habit. Change rarely sticks after a few attempts, it requires consistency over time. The most successful people, athletes, leaders, creators, practice the same actions until they become automatic. By learning the right behavior, scheduling regular practice, and adding accountability, repetition embeds new habits into your system. Over time, these repeated actions stop being effortful and start being a natural part of who you are. Growth also needs measurement to thrive. Without visible proof of progress, motivation fades and effort feels endless. By defining metrics, recording your improvements, and reviewing them consistently, you create clarity and reinforce commitment. Measuring progress makes abstract goals tangible, showing you the wins you are earning and giving you the confidence to keep moving forward. Momentum alone isn't enough without reflection. Short-term wins can drift off course if you don't regularly pause to evaluate and adjust. Simple, consistent check-ins, ideally with an accountability partner, ensure that effort is directed wisely, that problems are corrected, and that motivation stays high. Limiting your focus to a few critical measures and reviewing them quarterly or monthly strengthens your trajectory and ensures your progress compounds over time. Your systems, the routines, methods, and processes that structure your actions are the true lever of lasting change. Outcomes may fluctuate, but systems can always improve. By experimenting with small adjustments, observing the results, and refining your approach, you create a resilient foundation for growth. When you focus on improving the way you work, rather than obsessing over immediate results, lasting progress becomes inevitable. Even the most dedicated learners stumble when they try to change everything at once. Overwhelm dissipates energy, leaving knowledge without effect. Focusing on one primary change, allowing it to take flight, and limiting total active changes to no more than 3, creates a rhythm where each habit reinforces the next. Layered in this way, progress compounds, and sustainable growth becomes a living reality rather than a fleeting ambition. As you close this chapter, know that completion is not the end, it's the beginning. Begin by asking yourself, what is one change I am committing to right now? Identify the first 2 actions that will make that change real, schedule them, and take them immediately. Revisit this material, repeat the process, involve an accountability partner, and refine your systems as you go. Growth rests on 2 enduring qualities: humility to see where improvement is possible, and confidence to know you can achieve it. Combine them, act deliberately, and the change you envision will move from idea to habit, and finally, to an unshakable part of your life. Start today by picking one meaningful change and taking the first 2 small steps toward it. Momentum begins in motion.